When you understand your child's learning style, it really enables you to teach in a way that is very effective for them. Over the course of this series, we have literally discussed all of the components of every single personality of every single person who's ever lived on the earth, and you are probably feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So what I want you to know is that this next part is to break it down and just pick out the pieces that work for you, because I wanted you to know everything that's out there so that you could really find the pieces that apply to you and to your kids, but you do not have to deal with all of them. You're only going to worry about the parts that apply to you and your kids. So this book does more than just explain all the stuff that I've talked about in these videos. It actually has a quiz that is very easy for you to take or for your kids to take, and all ages. They have one for little kids and then they have one for the older kids to take on their own, and they're able to go through, and all this information gets broken down and distilled into useful bite-sized information for your kid. So quickly, I just want to go over what is on that quiz. First off, you discover your child's personality. You figure out which personality is theirs, but specifically, you're looking for the top 2 personalities that they have, because we all have lots of, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you are looking for the top 2 and how they interact with each other, and that will determine a lot of how your child sees the world and processes the information that they receive. The next section is talents, and so what they do is they have, remember, 12 different areas of talents, and inside each of these areas, they give 10 different suggestions or ways that you could live this, and the child just looks at it and says, yes, I do that, or no, I don't. So as an example, drawing or copying pictures or designs, thinking in pictures, jigsaw puzzles or mazes, remembering what I see, reading maps or charts, and then they go on and on and on. And these are all different ways that say you are a picture learner, right? This is your talent. You can see things in pictures, and you can, and that one might have been spatial, I don't remember, I don't know. But the point is, they will have these 10 different things that are specific ways that you will show that talent. And your child just goes through and says, yep, I do that, that's super easy for me, or no, I don't really do that. And so then you go through and you look at it, and anything that has 6 or above is probably a natural talent for your child, and you'll want to teach to those talents because it's just easier, because it comes more naturally to them. Then they have the interest section, and this is pretty much just blank. Please tell me what you're interested in. And your kid just lists 10 things that they're interested in, and then they prioritize them 1 through 10, things that are most important to things that are okay, they're sort of interested in that. And you put the most effort into the ones that they have the top 5, those that they are interested in and have some staying power. And then the bottom 5, like I mentioned before, you just you listen to them, you're interested in what they're interested in, but you don't put a lot of energy into it, or you will wear yourself out. So this is just recognizing where to put your energy, and helps them too to say, hey, I am interested in a lot of things. That's kind of cool. Then you have modality, and remember, modality is more than just audio, visual, and kinesthetic. There are those subcategories as well. And so this quiz really focuses not only on which of the main ones they are, but which of the subcategories they are, so that they can say, hey, that's why I've always learned like that. That's why I'm constantly drawing in the notebook, and I'm not actually trying to be bad, or I'm not a disrespectful person. That's just how I learn. So this is very validating, and it's also something that just helps you see, aha, that's the specific type of listener you are, or reader you are. That's how you are processing information. Then they have a section on environment, and they will just list the different, I'm cold at this time, I need to wear sweaters, or I'm actually really hot all the time, or I like sunlight. And they just go into each of the categories and ask several different questions, and the kids are able to say, oh yes, no, this is how I feel about that. And so it can give you insight into what's working and what needs a little bit of adaptation in your environment. And that's the whole quiz. Once they do that, you're able to look at the quiz, you can look at the results and just say, I see how you learn. One of the best parts of this is that you can really validate how you learn and how your children learn, that nobody's bad. Nobody's coming at learning the wrong way, or you're just trying to make my life difficult because you're not receiving in the way that I'm giving. Everybody receives the way that they receive, and it's all good. But on the other side of that, this can be really information overload, and you can start thinking, holy cow, there's so much stuff here. I cannot do it all. Why did I spend all my time watching all those videos? Now I feel like I'm going to fail and I just want to quit. So what you do is you just pick one thing that works for your child. One learning activity, like maybe they really need to play more games, or maybe they need to get up and move a little bit, or maybe they need to draw more. Whatever, you pick one thing and work on that one thing. It will make a huge difference because it's going to be perfect for them. But don't do tons because that will burn you out and then you'll quit and then it won't help them anymore. So just do one. And as I know, even if you're doing just one thing, if you have multiple children, it can still feel like that's 4 or 5 major things I need to change in my day, and this is really exhausting. I don't think I can handle it. But the thing is, there are actually a lot of things that overlap. For instance, most of these personalities need time to do their own thing. They need just a chunk of time available for them to invent something or imagine something or whatever it is that they're doing. It'll be different for each person, but they need time to do it. So all you do is you set up your day in such a way that gives a chunk of time to them. And by doing that, you meet everybody's needs with just a scheduling adaptation. You're going to find some things that work for everybody. They're just really effective, potent things that we're going to start our day with an inspiring story. That works for every single personality. That works for every single learning style. It just works. They just like to be inspired before they move on to the next thing. Do those things. Those things are really potent because they work for everybody. If after you've done these things that work for everybody, you find that there's still some unmet need that is real and legit for a child and it's just not going to work as a group, you need to do something specific for that child, okay, pick one thing and put it into practice. Don't worry about doing lots and lots, and you don't even have to do one thing for each kid because it's possible that the things you do for the group meet most people's special needs, and then you only have to do one thing for one kid. So really minimize the strain on you and maximize the effectiveness by saying, okay, this works for the most people, and then I'll just do this extra one little thing for this one child, and that will help them. So I have thrown so much information at you, but it really doesn't even scratch the surface of what is in this book. And the quiz, of course, is in this book. I would give it to you if I owned it, but I don't own it. And so, I do suggest you go get this book, buy it, or it's in the library. A lot of times you can just go borrow it at the library and then make copies of it and do the quiz with your kids at home. But I do think you need to be able to do the quiz in order to really get the most out of it. Not everything. I mean, certainly you can learn a lot just from the videos I've done here and be able to understand more about your child and adapt yourself a little bit. But if you want to go full bore and just do this thing, this is the book. This is the thing that really makes it possible and brings it all together and makes it so that you can say, oh, I see. We just really need to have more charts in our home. We just really need to get out of the house and do more field trips. Whatever, so that you can make the right little changes in your life to have the most impact. I think you're doing a fabulous job with your kids. You're doing a wonderful job as a mom and as a teacher and as a mentor, and anything that you change, any little tiny thing that you change that is more effective and really improves their learning experience is going to be wonderful. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will catch you on the next one.